Not many people would argue that a major part of our heritage in Southampton is the port, but because it is on private land owned by ABP, Associated British Ports, it is unlikely that many in the local population are familiar with the docks. Ocean Village may seem to be a strange place to start a description of the development of Southampton, but it was not until the arrival of the railway in 1842 that changed the port from a forgotten backwater into a gateway to the oceans. The packet boat companies commissioned an engineer to survey this stretch of the River Itchen, and he had no hesitation in saying that it would make the perfect location for steamships. Southampton lies on the confluence of two rivers, and the River Test can be seen in the distance. Ocean Village is on the River Itchen and started life as an outer dock, but it was not long before developers realised that it would make good sense to also provide an inner or closed dock which was not tidal and therefore allow ships to be unloaded or maintained at any stage of the tide. The eastern docks were reclaimed from salt marshes, mainly during the reign of Queen Victoria. Yet Southampton's future prosperity hinged on an invention from the Industrial Revolution. Without the steam engine there would be no trains to transport cargoes to and from London, and without steamships the sailing ships could never overcome the double high tide which today is such a boon to the economy. Today only the outer dock remains, which we now call Ocean Village, but attached by a lock was the inner dock just beyond Maritimo's Lounge, which is now infilled and the site of a car park. They also realised that Southampton would need a dry dock if it wanted to keep up with competition, and on the immediate left of the picture were three dry docks built parallel to each other, where the modern houses of Ocean Village now stand. In fact, around the corner leading to the Empress Dock, where the National Oceanography Centre is located, another dry dock was built parallel to the shoreline, which has also been filled in that could accommodate the largest ships of the day. Development could not keep pace with the ever-increasing size of ships, and so another dock was planned, making more use of the reclaimed land, and the Empress Dock was opened in 1890. Great play was made about the size of the dock, able to berth the largest ship at any stage of the tide. The lodging shape of the Empress Dock makes it easy to identify from the air. It was opened by Queen Victoria in 1890, who arrived by boat, but general access is via Dock Gate 4. It is easy to lose your bearings at this point, but leaving the River Itchen and going around what is sometimes called the Dockhead, we are now seeing the port from above the River Test. The White Star Dock in the film was originally built for the Titanic and opened in 1911 and named after the White Star Line, who transferred to Southampton, which made it the UK's premier passenger port. In the dock we can see all the great liners of the day, the Aquitania, the Berengaria, the Mauretania, the Homeric, the Majestic and the Empress of Britain. The more recent film shows the same berth now used as the Ocean Terminal, with the Titanic berth opposite. The Trafalgar Dry Dock and the Harland and Wolff engineering works that were alongside the berth have long since gone, but the town quay is still there, and we can see the Royal Pier and beyond, where West Bay is in the process of being reclaimed and the land used for the western docks. In the water is the floating dock, necessary to maintain the ever-increasing size of ships. The film shows the Isle of Wight ferry approaching the present-day ferry terminal on the other side of the town quay, and in the distance we can see where we started. It is difficult to imagine that those ocean liners were berthed in the same docks we can still see today. For a moment we are going to step back to 1338, when the French with their mercenaries, the Genoese, made a surprise landing on a Sunday morning, probably on the mud banks, approximately outside where the white Southwestern Yacht Club building now stands, next to the old Wool House. Much to the anger of Edward III, not to mention local residents, the attackers burnt and pillaged their way through the town along Bugle Street to St. Michael's Church. The film shows old Southampton with the main road on the left tracing the water's edge up to the town walls, which were subsequently reinforced on the King's orders. Southampton's docks are separated by more than a kilometre, and the town quay and royal pier, which is now derelict. The film of the cruise liner is what most people expect to see when they think of the port of Southampton, but this development only occurred as a result of reclamation that was started in 1927 and finished around 1934. The whole of the area the other side of the dock quayside is reclaimed, and that is the reason the western docks are sometimes called the new docks. During World War II, Southampton was the springboard for D-Day and reinforced the troops until the end of hostilities. General Leclerc's Free French Army left from the eastern docks and went on to liberate Paris, and General Patton's Third Army embarked from the quayside in the western docks and went on to relieve the siege at Bastogne and then on to Berlin.